Hello, everybody, and welcome to Positive Fandom. I am your host, Mmmm, and I'm going solo today. Russ was not able to join us today, but today is a very special broadcast because it is the first broadcast that I'm doing live on my channel where I have already 1,000 subscribers. So I'm first of all, I have to say I'm really grateful to all of you out there for subscribing to the channel. There's a lot of you regulars who are here in the chat already this morning. Um, I do want to say hello to Tom Jr. Jackson, who is my friend and collaborator and moderator of the channel. Thank you so much, Tom Jr. Jackson, for being here this morning. I also do have a Twitch channel as well, everybody. So do check that out. We have Dennis Mason. Dennis Mason is here with us this morning. Hello, Dennis. It's always wonderful to see you here on a Sunday. I hope you are well. And Keely Chow is here. Hi, how are you, Keely Chow? Keely Chow says, hey, everybody, good morning. We also have Mikey Lito with us. Good morning, Positive Fandom, and all in the chat. Good morning, Russ, Tom, and Dennis. Well, Russ isn't here with us today, but good morning to you, Mikey Lito. We certainly are happy to see you here. And we also have with us this morning Single Songwriter, who says, congratulations on the 1,000. Thank you so much, Single Songwriter. I so do appreciate it. I appreciate all of you out there who have helped me to get to 1,000 subscribers. And Keely Chow says, hey, congratulations on the 1,000 as well. Thank you so much. It has been a lot of work to get to this point. I'm doing great, Keely. How are you? It is a wonderful day today. I'm so just ecstatic that I was able to get to 1,000 subscribers. But of course, I have to thank all of you subscribers out there personally. Thank you so much for believing in the channel and being so kind to me. And I also have to thank Robert Meyer Burnett because some of you may already know, I stream with him, and on Friday night on his channel and the Post Geek Singularity, he was kind enough to help me get to 1,000 subscribers. So I do want to say thank you to all of the subscribers out there in the chat, of course, today, and for all the weeks that have gone by. You guys have supported me. All the people who've sent me super chats, and I so appreciate those super chat people. And Michaelito, I'm going to answer your question in a second. Everybody who has sent me super chats, including Sebel McShave, including Martino Solmoni, and a bunch of other very, very generous people who have just been so kind to me, making sure that I can stay on the airwaves. I really do appreciate it. The other thing I was going to say is, of course, the true Dennis, 11 of 1,000 are here, right? It is very true. Darth Plato. Hi, Darth Plato. How are you today? It's so good to see you here. Zachara 315 is here as well. He says, good morning and congrats on 1,000 subs. Thank you so much, Zachara 315. We also have John Ware Jr., who also says congratulations to a kilo. Well earned. Well, thank you so much, John Ware Jr. I am so happy that you are here with all of us today. And Dennis Mason says, paying the rent. Yes, of course, of course. We also have Renz Tolentino, guys. Good morning. Watched Post Geek Singularity Live yesterday. Congratulations on the 1,000 subs. Yes. Thank you so much, Renz. It's always great to see you there and here as well. Just getting all that support from creators like yourself, Renz, with your fantastic artwork. And Tom Jr. Jackson is here with us too, as well as Mikey Lito, who asked the question. And of course, Mikey Lito has his own channel, which is Mikey Lito Live. So guys, you do want to go ahead and check that out. But Mikey Lito has a very important question that he's asking me. And as you guys know, there are certain requirements to get some monetization on YouTube. I'm pretty much a good way there with getting 1,000 subscribers. I am so pleased as punch. You guys have no idea how happy I am right now, having the support of all of you. And I'm also trying to keep promoting everybody because I feel that that's the way that we can all be successful, is if we show that support to one another, as creators and as people who love, all these wonderful IPs that we're enjoying in genre entertainment. So Tom Jr. Jackson says, if you enjoy the content that we bring you at Positive Fandom and would like to see them more, please go ahead and support Positive Fandom on Stream Elements. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for everybody who has supported me there. Now, Mikey Lito has asked me a very important question. And one of the requirements to getting to a point where you can be actually monetized has to do with watch hours. And Mikey Lito wants to know, how many watch hours do I have? Well, out of the 4,000 required watch hours, I have 2,500 watch hours, which means that if every person who subscribed to me, I guess, watched for an hour or more, I would get to the point of the 4,000 that's required. So I do have a ways to go. So if you guys are out there, I have a bunch of playlists. Please do watch those playlists. That will help me get to the 4,000 watch hours. It is a huge number, but because I'm already at the 2,500, I'm more than halfway there. Thanks to you all watching my videos, which I so appreciate, has made a big difference. Not only watching them, being there for my live streams, being there for a lot of different things that are going on. When I'm on other channels, I do see many of you there on those other channels. And I do really appreciate seeing everybody in the community, because that's why we're kind of here together, because we did kind of build this family and this community. And that's what I think is really important as well. We have Retro Nerd Girl. Guys, check out Retro Nerd Girl's channel. She has a YouTube channel, which she's had for 6 years, and she has such wonderful content. So please check it out. Retro Nerd Girl says, good morning and congrats. Well, thank you so much, Retro Nerd Girl. Good morning to you, and thank you for the congratulations. I am just so happy. I can't tell you, I couldn't stop smiling. I've been smiling for days and days and days. So I had to tone myself down, or else I would just be so excitable and then talk at 6,000 miles a minute. I said, I'm going to take it slow. I'm going to thank people in this slower fashion, but I am really actually very excited right now. So, so I'm just so happy. Low spec Linux laptop sends me a penguin. I think it's a cute penguin. Hello, low spec Linux laptop. I remember when I was in grammar school, they used to teach Linux, I think, and Lotus 123 and a bunch of other of those computer programs. I think that's what it was. Very cool name. So glad to see you here. Nathan Trujillo says, what's up, Positive Fandom? Well, what's up to you, Nathan? Nathan is the winner of the giveaway for my 1,000 subscriber on Friday night. So Nathan, congratulations to you for winning that figure, that 1/6 scale figure of Thor, and for also subscribing. Thank you for being here, Nathan. That is really kind of you to be here. I love seeing you all here this morning. I hope you're well, Nathan. I hope things are going great for you this morning, this beautiful summer morning. I wait for the summer weather all year long, guys. As you know, I live in New York, and I love when the weather is nice and warm. I can go walking outside. It's just wonderful. So I am so glad to see you here, Nathan. I hope you are well this morning. Also, Mikey Lito says, thanks. You generate a lot of content, so we'll have to do more. Yes, that's absolutely true, Mikey Lito. It is true. There is a lot of content on my channel. There's actually a lot of content that I have recorded, but you haven't even seen yet because I haven't broadcast it yet. So I have a lot of recorded content that hasn't even made it onto the channel yet, guys, if you could imagine. So there's much more to come. A lot of things coming up. I'm just so excited for the channel, for having this forum where we can all discuss different things that we're interested about. And as you know, we welcome many different types of opinions, whether you like something, whether you dislike something, whether you're ambiguous, whether you think something's going to happen or not. It's all great here. Go ahead and express your feelings. We're here to listen and just enjoy each other, whether we have the same opinions or not. Nathan Trujillo says, let's get our watch hours go up higher and higher, family. Yes. Thank you so much, Nathan. That is so wonderful for you to say that. I so appreciate you doing that and showing the support there, everybody. We also have Tom Jr. Jackson letting us know Renz Tolentino's Instagram feed. Renz is a talented, talented artist, guys. Go ahead and check out his wonderful artwork there. And also, Mikey Lito Live. Mikey Lito has his own YouTube channel as well. So certainly do check that out. Mikey Lito says, when I was in school, they taught basic. Yes, I remember. It was basic. Was it basic 1, 2, 3 or parts 1, 2, and 3? I remember that, Mikey Lito, and it was a big deal. And, yeah, I knew kids who took it, but I didn't really know everything about it. Dennis Mason says first prize was the Linux workbook. Oh, well, that's great. That is fantastic. It certainly is something else. I really do think it's interesting to see that there, and that somebody else actually remembers those classes. I sure do remember kids taking those computer classes then. Retro Nerd Girl's YouTube channel as well, guys. Check out Retro Nerd Girl's channel. She has such wonderful videos. If you like the classics, if you want to learn more about retro entertainment, check out Retro Nerd Girl's YouTube channel. I promise you guys, you won't be disappointed there as well. And we also have Captain Bazzino. Captain Bazzino is here with us. Hello, Captain Bazzino. So good to see you this morning. Yes. Yes, it certainly is a fantastic morning. And as I've said before, I'm so grateful to all of you for helping me get to 1,000 subscribers. It is such an accomplishment. It feels great. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys going even further into my YouTube journey, my Twitch journey, soon to be Odyssey and BitChute journey. So I really do appreciate it. I just have to say, I'm just so thankful to all of you. So I did just want to say that before I started to talk about the show or do anything else. I couldn't have done it without you guys. You know it's true. And I think that when I started my channel during, this very difficult time, during a time when we all were looking to one another, but we couldn't visit one another during that entire time where we were in lockdown, I have to say that this has been such a wonderful experience starting it, and it's been so enjoyable. But what's made it enjoyable is all of you. You can't do YouTube by yourself. It doesn't work out the same way. And we have a great community, and you guys are the best. Norwegian Kryptonian says, congratulations on 1,000. Thank you so much, Norwegian Kryptonian. You are so kind to give me that congratulations. And for everybody who's been supporting me, thank you so much. Norwegian Kryptonian, it is wonderful to hear from you this morning. Also, Tom Jr. Jackson says, check out his Instagram feed for some cool Funko pictures, guys. I collect Funko Pops. Guys, do you collect Funko Pops? Probably. I love Funko Pops, and so does Tom Jr. Jackson. Tom Jr. Jackson doesn't just show you his Funko Pops. He puts them in such incredible backgrounds where you can let your imagination fly. Check out Tom Jr. Jackson's Instagram feed for some cool pictures with Funko Pops. I assure you guys, you're going to want to check it out. And Tom, thank you. We are all goof people, Tom, for always being there and for always supporting me as well. So definitely do check it out. Now, I could talk about 1,000 subscribers for the next 2 hours. I'm not going to. I mean, I've been talking about it all weekend. I've been, telling my mother, who's been so kind about this, about it, how important it is, and what it means to me. And I think what also it means to everybody else, because as you know, I like to promote other creators as well. And I feel like since I can't go ahead and spend $2 or $3 million on building a wing for YouTube creators, I can go ahead and promote other creators that are here. And I feel that that's an important mission for me as someone who supports the arts. So it's a way to continue to do that from another way. And you are so welcome, Tom Jr. Jackson. But I feel that is how I'm going to go ahead, and I want to do this, as long as I can, to continue to support my fellow creators. They always say, if you want to be, you want to have the people around you that you want to be like. And I want to have a community where we can create, where we can go ahead and, enjoy ourselves. And I think that art is a form of expression that's incredibly important in making life worthwhile. So when I do see a lot of your shows, like Mike Alito telling us his review, or Retro Nerd Girl, or Ren's showing us his incredible artwork, it is inspiring, and it certainly does increase my enjoyment of that. So Now, Nathan has a question. He says, I finished watching your review of What is a Woman documentary. The candor was excellent and respectful. It was cool to watch two amazing women talk about an intriguing documentary. And yes, I did review What is a Woman on my channel with Lorena Creole. And we talk about this documentary. And I think it is important to talk about it because not only is it an incredible documentary by Matt Walsh, but I think there are a lot of issues that we need to talk about. And it affects us all, from almost from every aspect of our life. So certainly do check it out. And Nathan, I'm so glad you liked it. I think that, every time we get someone who watches it, we can get a new opinion, form a different approach to thinking about different things. And that's what we need to keep these lines of conversation going between all of us. Even when we don't agree, we can still learn and enjoy. There's so much to talk about, guys. Thank you, Nathan, for your kind words about the review. I do appreciate it. Tom Jr. Jackson says, if you have a YouTube channel or a cool Instagram feed, please let us know and we will get the word out. Yes, guys. Part of this show, part of Positive Fandom is that I want to promote you guys. So if you have something coming up, a book, more artwork, music even. We have MCP Scotty, who has just released an album. I believe it's on SoundCloud. And we want to see all of that. So do come here when you have new stuff coming out, especially stuff that you have finished and have been working on, and let us know. And we are more than happy to promote it here on Positive Fandom because that's what it's about, to keep you informed of all the Parley in the fandom and much, much more. So do please let Tom and I know that you are doing that. We certainly do want to promote those around us. Now, eventually, I do have to get into the first topic. I guess I do have to get into the first topic, guys. And of course, the first topic that I'm going to talk about is actually a topic I spoke about on Friday night. But I feel like I have to continue talking about it only because it has been the most remarkable thing I have ever witnessed in my life. And yes, parlay as in parlay talking, not parlay betting. So the one for talking and not betting. And it looks like Retro Nerd Girl has a deep dive movie review with spoilers of The Fifth Element, guys. So go ahead and check that out on her channel after this. She's got a deep dive movie review for The Fifth Element. You remember how cool The Fifth Element was, guys? She's going to do a deep dive in that. You're going to love seeing that. So do check that out. Single Songwriter says individualism is a good thing. And I agree with you, Single Songwriter. And we need to appreciate that about one another. I think that going forward, as people grow and learn more about one another in a way that we haven't really been able to do ever in our lifetime, we're going to see that and appreciate that individualism more and more. Tom Jr. Jackson says, check out and subscribe to Lorena Creole's YouTube channel. Absolutely. Lorena Creole, who puts that spice in sci-fi and fantasy entertainment reviews and so much more. Her Disney parks reviews are fantastic as well. I did a review with her for RRR a few weeks ago, and we just did one last night for Top Gun, the original Top Gun, guys. We're enjoying going back and looking on those films that we enjoy so much. Dennis Mason says that The Fifth Element, Ross, it sure does. It certainly does. And yes, we knew it was Fifth. Dennis, we agree with you. That is a great film as well. And I'm going to go ahead and listen to that when I get off of this stream for sure, guys. So I'm looking forward to her review on that. And so this brings me finally to the first topic of the day. I know it took me 18 minutes to get here, everybody. And Joker Voice is here. Good morning, Sorry I can't join today. I'm covering a shift this morning. Have a great day and chat. Keep talking. Thank you, Joker Voice. Joker Voice also has his own channel, guys. Check out Joker Voice's review. You will certainly enjoy it. And thank you for stopping by, Joker Voice. Single Songwriter says, Lorena Creole is a very cool and smart lady, 100% great mind. Absolutely. I love that lady. And guys, if you haven't checked out her channel, certainly do so. Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington says, hello from the UK. They've got a heat wave. Gary, I've been hearing about this heat wave. And from what I understand, people can't even sleep at night. It's so hot over there. Oh, my goodness. I know not everybody has, aircon or the air conditioning systems. But I sure hope you're finding a way to keep cool in this super hot weather, Gary. Please do try and stay cool out there when it's so hot you just can't even stand it. I like it hotter the better. So I live near the Atlantic Ocean. I literally am in walking distance from the beach. So oftentimes I'll go down and jump into the ocean and just cool down. But I know not everybody can do that, but I love it. So I love it. And I hope, Gary, you're staying cool when it's hot. All right. So remember to hydrate and make sure that you're doing everything to be comfortable. Sometimes I've noticed that some of my family members who cannot stand the heat and don't have aircon, they go to the stores, the shops. They go to the shops and stay in the shops all day long. So just to use the aircon. Gary Bando Sandwiches Worthington's channel is here, guys. So do check out his channel as well. And getting to the very first topic has to do with another creator that everyone is talking about. Everybody is talking about this man. The man's name is Eric July. Eric July is a YouTube creator whose name on YouTube is, I think, Young Rippa 49 or something like that, or 89. But the biggest and most significant thing about Eric July is the fact that he has had a presence on YouTube for a long time, and he's a creator, musician, a very talented man who is an entrepreneur and has started his own comic book line. ISOM #1 is now currently at a sale where he sold $2.2 million worth of comics. And this is absolutely one of the biggest sales of comics, I think, probably in history. I couldn't think of another one. He pretty much funded the production of it himself, and he crowdfunded it on his own website. So what I was going to say, and here is Joker Voice's YouTube channel as well. Joker Voice is working today, so we are thinking about you, Joker Voice, and you did stop by. Yes, and you can't do fluids at all in California, can you, Dennis? Single Songwriter says, yes, Eric July, an excellent guy and a great artist. And I can't help but talk about it a little bit more because for the longest time, we've been seeing the comic book industry kind of suffer. And they've come out with some comic book lines that didn't sell as well as they hoped they would. And so aside from what the reasons for those lack of sales are, the fact of the matter is that the bankroll never made it there, meaning that they couldn't sell a huge majority of comics, and the comics in itself ended up not being popular runs. And for those of you who do collect comics, those of you who do read comics know what I'm referring to. Of course, comic book companies come out with lines of comics and they come up with new stories, reiterations of your favorite characters. But when a line does well, they know about it through the sales. And unfortunately, a lot of the lines that have been coming out now haven't been doing well. Then comes along ISOM #1, Eric July's comic. And it has been doing fantastically. Over 15,000 orders made. Those orders could be just one book or multiple books. He has several packages on his website. And it's such an incredible amount of work he's done to make it happen. It's an over 90-page comic book, guys. That's a huge book. That's like an omnibus edition for those of you who collect comics or have comments about that. Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you, Tom, for doing this. Check out and subscribe to Young Rippa 59, Eric July's YouTube channel, where you can find out more about him as a creator and as a person. And overall, he is just fantastic to listen to. And I do just have to thank you so much, Gary Banda Sandwich, for saying no matter how hot it gets, it won't get as hot as you and Lorena and Toxic Femininity. Well, thank you so much, Gary. I have to agree with you on that one. And certainly, guys, do check out Toxic Femmes on Monday nights at 8 p.m. on Midnight's Edge with myself, Lorena Creole, and Nina Infinity. Thank you, Gary, so much for your kind words. And yes, Eric July has kind of done something that's pretty miraculous. In a time where it isn't the easiest thing to necessarily create your own comic, I think Oh, thank you. Thank you, single songwriter. You guys are so kind. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars, says, good morning, Art. And everyone. Well, good morning to you, OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars. It's so wonderful to see you here this morning. And of course, this is my 1,000 subscriber celebration stream. And I just want to kind of shout it out. The celebration stream. It's 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. Just in case you didn't know from the banner at the bottom. So Eric Patterson says, happy Sunday. Well, happy Sunday to you, Eric. I sure hope this Sunday is treating you well. I am enjoying it. Yes, thank you. Yeah. OG Star Wars when Star Wars was just Star Wars. And I just love your screen name, OG Star Wars. OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars. So, you know, Eric July's book, which I ordered his book. I ordered a signed copy. It's a 90-page comic, guys, 90 pages. Do you realize how much, content that is for a collector? That might be 10 comic books. Realistically speaking, 8 to 10 comic books. It's a lot of comic book quantity there. Thank you, guys. It is a celebration stream. I am so happy, guys. I'm trying to tone it down, but I'm really just so excited and elated and grateful to you guys. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. It makes me so happy. And I'm so happy to see all of you who are here this morning. You certainly are brightening up my day and letting me enjoy what we're doing even more. It is a celebration single songwriter. I'm so happy and just absolutely grateful to all of you for everything. So Jimmy Simpkins Jr., thank you so much for your generous donation from Stream Elements to Positive Fandom. Mr. Simpkins has been more than gracious and generous to this channel. I do want to acknowledge that he has been a supporter of my channel for many weeks by giving donations through Stream Elements. Thank you so much. You are so kind. I so appreciate it. You have been so thoughtful and generous. Thank you. I also do want to thank Stubble McShay for his generous donations, as well as Martino Solmoni for supporting Positive Fandom. Every little bit helps, and it means that I can continue this channel, that I can continue supporting other creators. This means a lot to me, and I think it means a lot to all of us out there who watch and support other creators out there. Darth Plato says, where is Russ? Well, Russ could not make it today, so he's not here. And when he comes back, I'll let him explain it to you, because I don't necessarily explain everything to people when other people are not there, because I feel like they should speak for themselves. So what I'm going to say is that he should be back here next week. He is fine, but he could not make it today. And I will tell Russ that you asked for him, Darth Plato, because I know he says hello to you, and he says some, but in Latin, I think, which is very, very cool. But I don't know what you guys are saying when you say that. But Darth Plato, it's always a pleasure to see you. So Russ was not here today. But it's still a celebration day, guys. It's still a celebration. I am still celebrating. And I'm celebrating the success of Eric July as well, because selling $2 million worth of comics is a big deal. $2 million worth of comics, and it's still going. This is only like day 5 of the campaign. When Berserker came out, which is the comic that involved Keanu Reeves, I was very interested in that comic. They had actually one offer where if you spent $2,000, you could be in the comic book with Keanu Reeves. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. Well, you know something? Eric July's comic book is already created. He's completed it already. So people are ordering it. They're going to get the comic much sooner than a lot of the other campaigns out there. And good morning to you, Efran Guzman. Good morning. He says, good morning. Well, good morning to you, Efran. It's so good to see you this morning. Such a pleasure that you are here joining us this morning. We also have 66 Starship Alien. Hello, all. Going to bed to this stream. Work in 5 hours. Hello to Well, hello, 66 Starship Alien. It's such a pleasure for you to stop by. It certainly does mean a lot to us. And I so appreciate it that you would say hello and get a peaceful rest. I hope you can hear this thing in your dreams, 66 Starship Alien. I hope it makes you have a wonderful rest. And I hope you have a great work day as well. Retro Nerd Girl, hi. Retro Nerd Girl says, Eric July's story is a true inspiration, showing us a great example of putting your hard work and money into his dream. I'm impressed and inspired. Yes, you know something? I agree, Retro Nerd Girl. I think that when you see something like this, when you see a creator who has been talking about the state of comics, who's been talking about the state of entertainment, who's been talking about and reviewing what we have been getting as, people who are enjoying these IPs overall, who's been looking and trying to analyze how things can be improved, and then goes ahead and funds his own comic, puts it on his own website, then asks people if you're interested in it. This is my goal. If you're interested, let me know. And then manages to sell $2.2 million worth of comics in a 5-day period for a campaign that still has maybe 20 something days to go. It is inspiring. It's inspiring. And he's been working so hard. From what I understand, he's been doing that for 9 years. I'm sure he's been a creator for much longer than that. But from what I understand, this has been a 9-year journey for him. And, it is inspiring and it is impressive. 96-page comic, or I think it's around 90-page comic, is a huge comic. That's like an omnibus edition comic. I'm so impressed with what he's able to do. I think that, we can see creators coming up with stuff like this. It's amazing. The other thing I wanted to mention is that one of the artists in the comic book used to draw for a major comic book company, but left that company due to creative differences over another character. I'm not going to say what the character is, but let's just say he was told to draw the other character doing something. He says, I can't really draw that character that way. So he left. So this guy's a major big deal. He's a fantastic drawer. This is just such an incredible book. It's by some comic book veterans who have incredible talent. The artwork is phenomenal in Eric July's campaign. I am so happy for him. I am just absolutely pleased as punch. Yes, 66 Starship Alien says thank you. And great work, Rippaverse. Absolutely. I just really think that, this might be a new direction that people can go in and have hope for comics. And people are always saying things like, where's the new content? Where's the new work? Right? I mean, absolutely. 66 Starship Alien says the artwork on Rippaverse's comic book is very high level. Yes, because it is a high level artist who's working on that book, someone with many years of experience, someone who knows what they're doing. And that's why it looks fantastic. It's a professional. We're seeing just absolute wonderful creation here. And Retro Nerd Girl also says the artwork is incredible. And I think that this is one of those times, if you're out there and you're saying, where's the original work? Where's the original IPs? Here it is. Eric July has created an original IP for you to look at. Certainly, if, go ahead and check out his the link, which Tom posted in the description. Certainly go ahead and do that as well. And watch it and find out more about Eric July before you buy it, which is something you can't do if you go to the comic book store. Go to his website. You're going to find out so much about Eric July, what he believes in his Rippaverse code of ethics. It's so much more than just a comic book. It's a way of thought. He respects the fans. He respects the idea of creativity. Tom Jr. Jackson says, Eric July not only writes a comic, but does a YouTube channel, a podcast, and has a band as well. He truly is a man of many talents. Absolutely. Single songwriter says he is a really good musician as well. Yes, single songwriter, he certainly is. And Retro Nerd Girl makes a good point here. She says the storyline sounds so fresh and new. Guys, I'm not going to spoil the storyline for you. I want you guys to go ahead and go to Rippaverse.com, I think is what it is. It's already in the chat here that Tom has posted. Go ahead and check out his story. Go ahead and check out everything. And as Retro Nurgle says, this storyline sounds so fresh and new. Guys, if you want fresh and new fantastic comic, a fresh and new fantastic storyline of something to see, you will find it in ISOM #1. I'm so impressed with what he's done. And it was a lot of hard work. And it took him a while to get to this point. And you have to acknowledge all the stuff that has to happen in the background when you become your own boss. You have to acknowledge the responsibility of your public persona, which Eric July has done. He's a responsible, respectable creator who has been kind of a pillar in the community of really just comic book appreciation. So I can't say enough about Eric July. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And if you want an original IP here, go for it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna take a drink, drink a little bit of water. Okay, so definitely check out Eric July. I was just so excited to see what he was able to accomplish. And for those of you who have dreams of doing something like that, go for it. I certainly do wish Eric all the best. And I imagine that he might be at the Orlando meetup of Geeks and Gamers. I'm not sure, but do check out his website and channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tom Jr. Jackson, for doing that as well. So do check out Eric July's book. If you do check it out, come back and let me know. I think it's great to find out your opinions about it. And see what you enjoy, and we can kind of continue the conversation about the importance of this. And it is, from what I understand, breaking records. I don't believe, even with the Berserker campaign, which had Keanu Reeves attached to it, I don't believe there has been a campaign that has sold like this in the history of comic books. Now, because of this, there has been some criticism, but you know something? I think that Eric July has passed the Rubicon. I think that this campaign, okay, Tom, I'm going to breathe. I'm breathing. I think that Eric July's campaign has passed the Rubicon in a good way. I think that this has built up so much momentum that there's ain't no stopping him now from breaking, ain't no stopping us. I think this is just going to keep going, this forward momentum. But I also think the impact that it's going to have is to inspire other creators to go for their dreams as well. So I did just want to say congratulations to Eric July. It's such a pleasure seeing this success for you. And I can't wait to get my book that I ordered. I did order and support his campaign for that. So I did just want to mention it. I'm breathing, Tom. I'm breathing. Okay. All right. So the next topic that I do want to talk about has to do with Star Wars. So yes, as you guys are aware, a few weeks ago, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series ended on Disney Plus, and I did watch it, and I have had a lot to say about it from that time. And thank you, 66 Starship Alien. Thank you so much for your kind words. What I was going to say about Obi-Wan Kenobi is that despite, let's say, there is no perfect show. We haven't gotten any perfect shows recently, except for maybe Reacher and The Terminal List. I think, and maybe Stranger Things season 4, I was going to say that I felt that there were a lot of good parts in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And for example, at the end of the series, when Darth Vader and Obi-Wan have their final fight, I had kind of hinted that I wish that somebody would go ahead, take the video and edit it so that it's a continuous fight rather than breaking it up and then we don't get to see a lot of the details. You kind of lose, the rhythm of it. And Mike Alito, I am going to get to that topic in a little while as well. Thank you so much, Tom Jr. Jackson, for your comments. Mike Alito says, well, Miss Marvel is pretty close to perfect too. And, we are going to talk about Miss Marvel, certainly today, because there is some information about Miss Marvel. in regards to the X-Men. London Tess says Better Call Saul is perfection as well. Yes. And guys, go ahead and let me know which series you think are perfect. Please continue to share your opinions. I like to hear what you guys kind of like. Yes, Darth Plato. We're going to talk about that as well. So before I get into the Grogu versus Gizmo controversy, what I was going to say is, and welcome to the channel, London Tess. It is such a pleasure to see you this morning. I hope you're well. I hope you are in a cool place. From what I understand, it's a bazillion degrees there and somewhat uncomfortable, but I hope you are keeping cool. From what I understand, someone went ahead and took the entire series of Kenobi and made sort of like a film version of it. And he's on YouTube. And I watched the fan edit of let's say the Kenobi movie. And I have to tell you guys, it was incredible. So I'm still convinced, and I'm still waiting for someone to do this with a lot of the Disney, productions for Star Wars, and just edit out stuff like, people hiding 10-year-old girls underneath raincoats, or, kind of corny things that didn't need to be in there. He did that, and it really kind of goes to something that I think we all know, is that there's a lot of things that are in some of these productions that Disney has made that didn't necessarily need to be there. Now, I do want to say that somehow at some point there's been some sort of controversy of Grogu versus Gizmo, meaning Gizmo from Gremlins. Gizmo is the adorable creature, and I don't remember what kind of creature it is, Darth Plato, even though I did see Gremlins last year in a movie theater. But what I was going to say is that what's happened is that the design of Grogu is being challenged by the creator of Gizmo, saying that he's very similar in shape. But my argument is Grogu is like a miniature version of Yoda. And did Yoda come out before Gizmo? I think so. So I just feel like Grogu is a miniature Yoda. I mean, guys, right? He's a miniature Yoda. He's just a tiny version of Yoda. He just so coincidentally happens to be the same shape as Gizmo. So that's how I see the Grogu versus Gizmo. And as far as I'm concerned, if it is 30 or 40 years later, I think it's enough time to go ahead and say, okay, their shapes may be similar, but I didn't feel like one was necessarily a ripoff of the other, although they are both incredibly cute and adorable. So it is nice to kind of see Gizmo again. And I'm wondering if there is going to be another Gremlins, since we are getting so much attention associated with Gizmo. Let me know what you guys think. Now, 66 Starship Alien says, oh my God, I started the terminal list last night. It's amazeballs. Chris Pratt is the bomb. He is. I love him. His acting has a lot of depth. Oh, it sure does. 66 Starship Alien. I wouldn't mind running into Chris Pratt anytime soon, and I'm going to leave it there. But the Terminal List is a fantastic series as well. And Efren Guzman says, loved Angel AD. Well, thank you. Thank you, Chris, Efren Guzman, for letting us know. Retro Nerd Girl says, Kai Patterson is the editor. Thank you so much. Now, this is what I was talking about in regards to that Kenobi edit. It's a movie that he made it into, and it's so good. All the characters shine in it. He removes a lot of unnecessary stuff. So guys, go ahead and see if you can find that Kenobi movie that Kai Patterson created. I promise you guys, with this one, it's going to be even better than the Kenobi series you watched. Now, Efren Guzman talks about Angel and Buffy. And Efren Guzman, I have to agree with you in regards to Angel and Buffy. I am a huge David Boreanaz fan, who is, I believe, an Angel, right? I love Angel. Well, I love David Boreanaz. And I also like him in SEAL Team as well. So Nathan Trujillo says, I'm surprised Disney and Lucasfilm didn't force the fan edit to be taken down. Well, I have to tell you something, Nathan. I think there has been something regarding that. I'm not going to necessarily talk too much about it, only because I'm not 100% sure if they did or didn't. But I've heard a rumor, and I don't really talk about rumors on this channel, but I heard a rumor about it, but I cannot confirm or deny it. So this makes a good point. Now, 66 Starship Alien says Elvis Presley's granddaughter in the terminal list is for trivia buffs. I did not know that. That is fantastic. And I'm going to look to see who that character is for sure. Okay, I gotta take a... Okay, Tom, I am breathing. Okay. Thank you for telling us, 66 Starship Alien. I'm going to look to see if I can find her. Single Songwriter says Kenobi was originally supposed to be a movie. It started production in 2018 as a film, and then the lockdowns came and changed it all. And Single Songwriter, we've been waiting so long for that Kenobi series. I remember they had announced it, and I was so excited. 2018 came, nothing. 2019 came around, nothing. 2020 came around, nothing. 2021 came around, nothing. It's been so hard to deal with this Kenobi series, but you're right, Single Songwriter. It was supposed to be a movie, and that's what they should have stuck to, honestly. Holy Hand Grenades. Holy Hand Grenades. How are you today, Holy Hand Grenades? I have to follow up with you on heavy hands. If you have a Holy Hand Grenade, we've got to get some heavy hands too. He's a Mogwai. Gizmo's a Mogwai. I'd forgotten that. It had been a little while, and I know that there's a responsibility of having a Mogwai. He certainly is a cute little creature. I wouldn't actually mind having a Mogwai right now. Mario Lopez is with us. Mario Lopez, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. Is there a heat wave where you are as well? Is it all of Europe, or is it just the United Kingdom? Let us know how everything is going with you, Mario. Retro Nerd Girl says, Joe Dante must have been joking, which he often does. Grogu is not a ripoff. Yeah, I didn't think he was. I thought maybe he was trying to get Gizmo in the news because they are coming out with something new for the Gremlins. So, you know, you got to stir up some interest in some articles where people will do some chatter, and maybe this is just a publicity stunt. And perhaps he was just joking, but it certainly grabbed a lot of attention from people like myself. A Single Songwriter says, Grogu was chosen by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau and had nothing to do with Gizmo. Trust me, I know. They both looked at artwork and chose Baby Yoda as the co-star almost 10 years ago. Yes. And I did also want to mention that it's clear that Grogu is just a little tiny Baby Yoda. That's why we all called him Baby Yoda for so long. I still call him Baby Yoda. All right. Starship Alien, 66 Starship Alien says, hint, Chris Pratt's wife, Riley Keough. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that. I didn't know that was the character that she played. She did a wonderful job. And I'm not going to say what happens in the story, but let's just say you might need some Kleenex when you watch it. Okay. Michaelito, you're right. Maybe RM should have a glass of air as well. Okay, I'm breathing. Okay, let's continue. Let's begin now, or continue now. London Tess says, for anyone who may be interested, Terminalist author Jack Carr has a great interview on Joe Rogan. Had some great inside scoops to his writing. Absolutely. And thank you so much for doing that into his writing process. That is good to know. So certainly, guys, check out some of these series if you haven't seen these series, these favorites. See if you can find that that movie, the Kenobi Series 1 movie. It's fantastic. Also, do check out some of the recommendations that we've seen here. Terminalist has been great. I loved Buffy as well, but I liked Angel more. And any of the other suggestions you guys have put out there, it certainly do something that should be checked out. Now, the other thing I was going to say is I know Andor is coming, but there has been like a leak of the Mandalorian Season 3 trailer. And I don't do leaks because I like to be surprised. So I'm not going to watch that trailer until it's officially released or we get something else. But for those of you who have seen it and you liked it, you can tell me whether you think it was great or not. I know that there are some scenes where, thank you, 66 Starship Alien. I so appreciate that. For those of you who have seen the trailer and have loved it, let us know. Or other things that you're hoping to see for The Mandalorian season 2 and season 3. And of course, we know Andor is coming up, and that's a big show. It looks very cinematic in the trailer, but then I did say that about the book of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it didn't quite turn out to be as cinematic as I wanted. So I have to be careful. Sometimes those trailers can be misleading with that. So now I want to talk about, and I think it was Mikey Lito who brought up Ms. Marvel as the perfect show. And I have to say, it is the perfect show. It's respectable. It's absolutely something that I feel is geared towards young adults. And it's exactly the type of show that Disney is known for making. It's a young girl with conservative values where her family is like, well, we want you to be this way. And she knows she has a conflict between the traditions, followed with her family or doing, becoming a superhero, which is very, very hard. And Mikey Lito says, I would have liked to have seen Ms. Marvel edited as a feature and Thor, Love and Thunder, edited as a series. You know something, Mikey Lito? I think that's an excellent idea. I think Ms. Marvel would have made a great feature film. And I think that a lot of people would have gone to see it and would have been very impressed with it. Perhaps Thor, Love and Thunder could have been a series. God knows. I would love to see more of Chris Hemsworth. So I'll take it. But what I did want to say is that it has to do with Ms. Marvel and the idea of her being a mutant. Now, originally when I watched the show, I haven't finished watching the show. I admit I haven't finished it. I haven't had time to watch it. Darth Plato candidly says, I was shocked that Disney would make Ms. Marvel. That's very interesting too. And, she is a young girl. She's a teenager. So it's going to be very different. And I think that it is intended for a younger audience as well. Doesn't mean that you can't watch it if you're older. There are a lot of adult and mature themes in it, especially when they talk about the partition. That's certainly not necessarily something that isn't a very adult topic. But one thing I can say about her is that, in part of the story, this is kind of a spoiler, but in part of the story, she puts on this incredible looking bracelet. And when she puts on the bracelet, it would appear that she has these powers. Now, I'm not knocking the idea that she put on the bracelet and all of a sudden she had the powers. I'm certainly not knocking anything in that story. I think Ms. Marvel's a fantastic story. I think it was written wonderfully. I think that congratulations should be given to Disney for putting out the type of programming that they used to put out all the time, but we haven't really been seeing for a while. What I am going to say is that I thought the bracelet gave her the power. I thought that when she put that bracelet on, boom, she's Ms. Marvel. Only to find out, or let's say for it to be revealed, that she's actually a mutant, as in the X-Men style mutants, from what I have been told. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Mikey Lito says very clearly that Thor, Love and Thunder was very episodic. And 66 Starship Alien says Battleship is a favorite movie of mine. Main character is in the terminal list too, Taylor Kitsch, a great cast. Well, thank you, 66 Starship Alien. Guys, do check out Battleship, the movie Battleship. I'm going to have to go back and watch that as well. Retro Nerd Girl says, more Chris Hemsworth? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. The man is nearly perfect. And I have to say, there were some... So, there was a scandalous nude scene in Thor, Love and Thunder. But I have to say that even when Chris Hemsworth was just wearing the Thor suit, and you could see his arms kind of like sticking out of the sides of the suit, and he's just standing there, and I'm like, he does look like a god. So I have to give him credit for just shining in this film. He's like absolutely wonderful to watch on screen. And no matter what happened in the film, he was just incredible. And I think that he's a wonderful Thor. So I have to agree with you, Retro Nerd Girl. Absolutely. I'll take what I can get. Michael Lito says, I started watching Ms. Marvel thinking it was going to be a teen drama. It turned out to be a universal story. I agree. Mikey Lito. It certainly surprised many people. The content certainly was something that anyone could watch. And it's something you can sit down with your family and watch it and not be embarrassed. I think that that's the type of content that Disney has always made and should continue to make. I hope Disney makes 1,000 more shows like Ms. Marvel, where the whole family can sit down, watch something that's entertaining, and not have any concerns or embarrassment over what is in the content. Now, they can go ahead and make other projects, but they also need to go back to the basics, what they're known for, friendly family entertainment, and that's what Ms. Marvel is to me. Now, I haven't finished watching the whole thing, so I don't think my opinion is going to change about it when I watch it. Mikey Leo, I'm sure that you your comment here about it being a universal story is something I've heard from many reviewers, and that's why Ms. Marvel is a win for me. Lorena Creole, hi, Lorena, is here. She says, good morning. Dropping by while out shopping. Yes. Well, it is so wonderful to have you here this morning, Lorena. I hope you are well this morning. It's always great when you stop by. Guys, check out Lorena Creole's channel. As you know, I stream with Lorena Creole quite a bit, and it is always wonderful to see you in the morning, Lorena. Thank you so much for stopping by. Oh, and she says, and congratulations on 1,000 stops, right? Yay! Yes! Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my God, it's so wonderful. Okay. 66 Starship Alien says, I think Hemsworth Bond would be rather freaky. I'd go there. Interesting. I feel like he would overpower everybody, but I would still buy a ticket to watch him. In fact, this was the Thor that I knew I had to see as soon as it came out in theaters, and I'm thinking of going to see it again in IMAX. So there, I've said it. Confessions. Now, Darth Plato says Battleship was based on the game. Battleship, that's right. R22, M15. You sunk my battleship. That's the one, right, Darth Plato? And they would show you like in the commercial a battleship, but then you'd have like this very generic looking, which was fine, a very generic looking board with pegs, like 100 pegs, and you'd place a bunch of battleships somewhere, and the person couldn't see where yours were, and you couldn't see where theirs were, and you had to just kind of do the coordinates between letters and numbers, and then you get, to sink their battleship. Yeah, I didn't know that it was based on the game. Thank you for letting me know. Bloodsport 1 is here, guys. Bloodsport 1. Good morning. Bloodsport 1 says, well, good morning to you, Bloodsport 1. It's good to see you here this morning. And Bloodsport 1 says, hello to the chat room as well. Mike Alito says, how similar Pakistani culture is to other cultures, mothers and daughters, modernity versus tradition. And pretty much almost all of Disney's content prior to 2009, maybe, all dealt with these themes of, a girl becoming, a young woman, coming of age stories, modernity versus tradition. Absolutely. We certainly do want to see more of that because that's what Disney is known for. We need things like this for children, guys. I want the children out there to be able to enjoy Disney the way that we have enjoyed Disney. And yes, we will post the link. Lorena says, hello, good morning, and thank you so much. And to Darth Plato as well. Now, 66 Starship Alien says, I used to play the Battleship game with my brother. Absolutely. I remember that game very well. And it was a great game. It was a great game. Simple, great game. Oh my gosh. It feels so good to talk about this stuff. RRTNZ. Yes. Cheers, R. Actually in your time zone, as wife and I are visiting family in Toronto. Oh, wow. You're just north of here. I'm in New York. It's only a few hours away. Putting in a plug for Star Wars Visions anime episode on D+. Good fun indeed. I liked quite a bit of Star Wars Visions, guys. I did. I enjoyed quite a few of those things. I think that they should go heavily into the anime, create an actual book of manga, I guess. And then we can see some incredible animated series from the manga. We ought to get like 100-page manga from Disney. And they should sell it, and it would sell. Maybe they will one day. So hopefully soon. Also, here's the link to Lorena Creole's channel. So guys, certainly do go ahead and do that. And Bloodsport 1 says, this is my confession. What was his confession? So, all right. Now, Nathan says, I feel bad to disagree on Ms. Marvel. Some episodes were unnecessary. The origin story was too complicated and the bad guys were blah. The family dynamics were great, but overall it was very CW. And I'm not going to argue that with you, Nathan, because it most likely is very true. There probably were some stuff in there that was unnecessary, and I can see that. I think in regards to, for me, I feel it's perfect because it's been a while since we've seen a show that a family can sit down and watch. And as much as I like nudity and sex, I also think there ought to be variety in shows that come out. And for me, it hit that mark. In regards to the villains, but I have to give it some creative license here. And I wondered to myself, what exactly should we be seeing a young teenage girl fighting against? What should she be doing? Do we want to see a teenager do certain things? Like, I questioned that in Thor when the children got Thor's power and started to fight, and they were essentially using weapons in a way that you don't normally see children use. So now all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, those are just kids. They have the power of Thor, but I thought maybe they were just going to use it for defense, but that wasn't what happened. So it is something to think about going forward, and what we might see and what we, like and tend to think should and shouldn't be there. But don't feel bad, because a lot of us feel the same way too. And these are your feelings, and we want to see how you feel. Like, thank you for sharing it. This is what this is for. Go ahead and share those feelings with us, Nathan. That's why we're here. The world is filled with different people, and it's unrealistic to think that everybody's going to agree and have the same views on everything. So it's good to see that you have some differences there. We appreciate seeing that, Nathan, and we appreciate you. So thank you for sharing it. We certainly do want to see more of that. Tom Jr. Jackson says, Ms. Marvel was not just a coming of age story, but a coming into a superhero story as well. Yes, Tom Jr. Jackson. And this is what I was talking about. And I'm sure Darth Plato and Michaelito were talking about it as well, about this mutant powers, that she's a mutant. Does it mean that she's going to be one of the first new characters in a new X-Men film? Well, I sure hope it's not going to be like Dark Phoenix, guys, because Dark Phoenix was the film they made in 2019. And it was the last time that I saw my favorite version of Magneto, Mike Fassbinder, in the role. And it wasn't quite what any of us expected. And I'm not even quite sure what direction they were going in. But we want something a little bit stronger than Dark Phoenix. And honestly, Ms. Marvel is a much more interesting character than Dark Phoenix for me, looking at it. So I'm hoping that if they are going to go this mutant role, we are going to get something that's going to be as exciting, if not more so, than that film. And Latrone Latham. Hello, Latrone. How are you? Congrats on 1,000 subs. One of the MCU Visual Dictionary books over the last few years hinted that the Mind Stone probably unlocked powers already inside Wanda instead of giving her powers. And hence, Wanda, correct me if I'm wrong, Latrone Latham, is supposed to be Magneto's daughter, right? I could be wrong on that, my dear, but I thought I heard something about that. So in actuality, it was in her all along. And it's very interesting. These mutants are wreaking all kinds of havoc. And of course, my favorite mutant is Magneto. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get Fassbinder back as Magneto, but I loved seeing him as Magneto, the younger version of Magneto. I think he was amazing. He illuminated the page, and that's how I imagine Magneto to be, really cool and slick and, you know, calculating and just absolutely charismatic as Fassbinder played him. Thank you so much, Latrone Latham. I so appreciate you. And thank you for helping me get to 1,000 subscribers, guys. And it is fun to talk about these different things about these characters. So thank you so much for the well wishes there. Caventino Cavalryman Shay says, Ms. Marvel sounds similar to a movie that I watched 20 years ago, also called Bend It Like Beckham. Yes, I remember that starred two very popular actresses. I can't remember the girl's name, but she's a famous British actress. And of course, she liked a guy and the guy fell for another girl. So, and it was a girls' soccer team. It was a popular film. Bend It Like Beckham. So, thank you, Caventino, Cavalryman Che. It's always good to see you. And it's okay to have films like that, right? These are fun and playful parts to these films that I think young adults need to see as well. I love The Walking Dead, but one thing that I was concerned about was a lot of the mature themes on it were on television, and there were a lot of kids watching that show, which is fine. But kids also need some other things too, I think. Maybe it is, in that regard, was meant to have that certain sense, like Bend It Like Beckham. So I can't remember the woman's name. She's a great actress. She does all those Ms. Chanel commercials or Mademoiselle commercials, those perfume commercials. And the guy's like, Mademoiselle. And she's like, you know, or it doesn't matter. But the point is that it is kind of fun to see that. Mike Alito reverberates the same sentiment. Don't feel bad, Nathan. Miss Marvel is all origin. The superhero aspect was very minor in my mind. Now, Single Songwriter says, was Miss Marvel the prequel to the video game or vice versa? This is a good question. And that Marvel, I think it was the Marvel video game, was kind of criticized for having her as one of the main characters. And when no one really knew much about what was going on, and not quite what everybody may or may not have wanted or expected to have to play as Miss Marvel in that Marvel video game. And perhaps was kind of, I'm not going to say blamed for, but let's just say that the success of that game was not what it could have been because you had to play as Miss Marvel. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. When they inserted her in the game, it should have been some incredible things that you saw, stuff that we've never seen in a Marvel video game. They could have gone that way. And then people would have been like, wow, I didn't know she was going to be in this and she can do these incredible things that I was not expecting. Would have been pretty cool. But it didn't go down that way. So this is a good question, Single Songwriter. I don't have the answer to that. And I apologize. Maybe somebody in the chat does. So please let us know. Darth Vader says Miss Marvel was unexpectedly wholesome and devoid of modern zeitgeist inserts. Yes, I think that she needed to be unexpectedly wholesome. I think she should be, and I'm happy that she is that way. And I don't want that to ever change. I want her to be wholesome. I want her to be a nice girl and to have all those wholesome things that she deserves for this character, for her to be that way, Darth Plato. So you make a very good observation in that. And I agree with you on that. Bloodsport 1 says, I feel the MCU lost its magic. The end credits are now cameo roles. It used to be a build up. Yesterday, I watched the second Hulk film. It had suspense, tension, not just a bunch of random, and he says random events. You know what I think, Bloodsport 1? I think that they need to make MCU films for adults and MCU films for children, because this seems to be the pattern that we're going in for me. I think that the old formula was great, and I think it fit the time period. It was appropriate, but I think they also need to grow and progress. And I think we might need some more mature themes going forward for some of the films. And then for other films or other parts of the IP like Ms. Marvel, we could have something that perhaps is not so mature. there's a reason why we have different ratings of movies. I also think that if we're going to have the animated series for some of these things, the animated series could be the ones that are maybe in the middle somewhere, neither entirely mature nor entirely for children, so to speak. So it has lost suspense and tension, because in order for the suspense to continue, you have to I feel like they have to increase the stakes. And sometimes doing that means that it's going to be more of a mature theme. It doesn't have to be, but it's an option, something they could do. But you make a good point. I don't necessarily feel the suspense in it either. I didn't necessarily feel that much suspense in Thor: Love and Thunder. So you make a good point there. I have a similar feeling to you. Darth Plato says the Dark Phoenix movies are a big letdown from the Source comics. They certainly are. Oh my gosh. When she went to go see Magneto, it was like so directionless. What the hell was Magneto living where he was living anyway? Like, that's not Magneto. He wouldn't do that. He'd be in a palace somewhere or some cool compound, not on an island somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong, Darth Plato. Maybe it was already part of his arc, but I don't see Magneto living that way. Mike Alito says, I actually hope they don't introduce mutants as a group. Thank you. But rather as individual characters. For example, Storm in Wakanda Forever, although I don't expect that to happen. Yeah. And, they haven't really ever done anything with Storm, which has been a huge disappointment for me. I feel like they should have done much more with Storm through the years. She could probably have her own story by now. I just kind of wish it would. Brian McCann, I have no idea what's going on with these notifications. I did put up a community post about it, but I'm so sorry, Brian. I don't know why it would come an hour late. I have no idea how YouTube even does any of this stuff. They are a machine that cranks out support for us to do this entire thing with almost no cost to somebody like me, the creator. I'm sorry you got the notice late, but it is sure good to see you here, Brian McCann. So nice to see you on a Sunday. Bloodsport 1 says, after watching Thor, I'm worried about the mutants, X-Men. And congratulations for 100 stubs. Hip, hip, hooray. Yes. Hip, hip, hooray. Yay. Thank you so much, Bloodsport 1. Yes, I'm worried about the mutants as well. I was especially worried about the mutants after seeing Doctor Strange 2. That really bothered me, seeing the professor, I think it's who it is, that way. I really got worried in that scene, and I think you know what I'm referring to. Mikey Lito says, Bloodsport 1, you're not wrong. The mid-credit and post-credit scenes are mostly fan service. People would riot if they sat through credits and something didn't appear. Now, yeah, it's pretty much something that we are all expecting. Thank you so much, London Tess. It is Keira Knightley. Thank you so much, who was in Bend It Like Beckham. She played a young girl who was a soccer player or footballer. And she kind of liked this guy on the team, but he liked another girl. And that's pretty much the story, but still a fun watch. Bend It Like Beckham is a classic. And yes, it was Keira Knightley who was in that film. And Tom Jr. Jackson confirms with me, Magneto in the comics is Wanda and Quicksilver's father. Absolutely. That's what I thought. Thank you, Tom, for pointing that out. OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars, says, Keira Knightley, Queen Amidala in disguise in The Phantom Menace. That's correct. Keira Knightley was in The Phantom Menace. She played the I guess it's called somebody who is supposed to divert. Yeah, she's the person who dresses like Queen Amidala, but she's not, and she's supposed to divert attention away from the actual Queen Amidala. So she was in disguise to protect the queen. So she is also in The Phantom Menace as well. So thank you for pointing that out. London Tess says, I mean, Bend It Like Bex, but yeah, she was a QA decoy. Thank you so much. Who got blown up. Yeah. And she did protect Queen Amidala. Now, she was in Pirates of the Caribbean as well as 66 Starship Alien says about Keira Knightley. And she was in 1 through 3. And what's interesting is that she kind of changes as she goes from movies 1, 2, and 3. And in 3, she finally starts to have like the tattoos on her like, and then that she's full on pirate at that point, or really is what I would consider that. I kind of like that they kind of changed her look throughout the movies. Yes, she was the decoy in the Phantom Menace. Retro Nurgle brings up a good point. She says, if the X-Men are back, would it be better to cast new actors than try to track down the actors from the last iteration of the live action characters from Fox? Wow. This is a good point. I think they have to start fresh. I'm glad you brought that up, because there has been a lot of questions about whether they should start fresh and what should happen. I think they almost have to start fresh. Guys, let me know what you think. I think they need new characters. I did like some of the live action characters from TV series. I like the Titans, which is not the same, but I think that we do see a lot of spin-off series on CW, which doesn't exist anymore, but something like CW or Fox. And then they do have to kind of start over in the next iteration. And certainly suggestions as to who should be whom is a good question, but it doesn't seem like they'll ever replace Patrick Stewart, or will they? Did they? Is he gone? Good question. Yes, London Test. He's definitely bended like Beck, and it was one of her first roles. Michael Lito says, please, new actors, please. Yes. But who is the new talent, guys? Who is out there to pick up these incredible superhero roles? I'd like to hear from you guys going forward. And yeah, it wasn't her that got blown up. Kira played Sabe, while Cord was the one who got blown up. Well, thank you. And Norwegian Kryptonian says, I would like to see a Zack Snyder directed Thor movie. Yes, I think everybody would like to see that. Single songwriter says, keep them separated, The Offspring. Yes, absolutely. Now, thank you so much, Darth Plato, who makes a point. Magneto would be hanging out on Asteroid M. I have to agree with that. Now, I'm just going to take some breaths. Whew. And I'm going to take a drink, just a little thing of water. All right. So we're at 1 hour and 16 here. Something else I definitely want to talk about. Now, we did kind of talk about the terminal list. Okay. We did kind of talk about the terminal list a little. And I did just want to say that the terminal list, when you go onto Rotten Tomatoes, there is a two ratings, the viewer rating and the critic rating. So you will notice that on Rotten Tomatoes, the fan rating is something like in the 90s, but the critic rating is in the 40s. And the critics are criticizing the terminal list. And I have to say that the terminal list is one of the most incredible shows I've seen in a while. And they say that critics are triggered by the show. The rating has 43% critics rating from Rotten Tomatoes for the critics. And it's about a Navy SEAL. And it's actually a really good series. It's a very long series. It's got maybe 7 or 8 sections to it, episodes to it. 95% audience score. And it says, it falls right in line. This is what, when asked his take on this, Carr, who I think is the author of the books or is affiliated with the production, says that politics is to blame, that it falls right in line with everything I understand about the current culture and climate in America right now, and that it seems to have triggered quite a few of these critics. But I want to say that the audience has spoken. 95% of the audience, scoreless, they're saying they loved it. And I'm looking at it from the point of view that it's a win. Even if the critics pan it, it doesn't really matter, because in the end, the fans have their say. Now, Nathan says, I think CEO Bob Iger and movie division head Alan Horn were the true secret sauce to the MCU. When they retired, the content went down. Well, things certainly have changed, haven't they? everybody can see that, and there's no denying it is different. Single Songwriter says Deadpool 3 may finally break the mold, and we will get more adult Marvel movies and also get movies for younger people also. Thank you. That's my dream. Disney has to be able to go ahead and say, we have an adult division and we have a children's division. And in the children's division, we shouldn't be seeing things like naked Thor and people making sex jokes or anything like that. I think they need to be able to separate the two and realize that there are things appropriate for adults as well for children, guys. Children should have their own parameters, and never the two should meet ever, ever. London Tess says, Kenneth Branagh coming back for a Thor movie would be awesome. Looks like Agatha Christie's stuff is done. I have to say, Kenneth Branagh has been having a spectacular year. He won for Best Original Screenplay for Belfast. He's talented on the stage. He's talented behind the lens as well as on the screen. Kenneth Branagh can do no wrong as far as I'm concerned. I loved him in Harry Potter. He's charming. I want to see more from him, and he hasn't. I don't think anything has stopped him. I think he can continue going, and I think he's amazing. Darth Plato says that I hear the name X-Men may even be changed. Well, that's very interesting. I have no idea what they would change it to. So I guess we'll see. Now, Parminder London Tess was the actress. The character's name. Yes, in Bend It Like Beckham, that the guy kind of liked, but not Keira Knightley. So, yeah. All right. So, well, we got our answer, Darth Plato. Brian McCann is saying that X-Men is being renamed mutants. So, thank you so much for that information. And it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because they are mutants. And he also points out, by the way, that Patrick Stewart has died 3 times as Xavier. Yeah. But I still get the chills when I see that scene with Magneto and the professor when, and it was the one, I think, with Fassbender, I think, and James McAvoy, where he ends up getting injured. He ends up getting, really badly injured so that he's in the wheelchair. That scene still sends chills up my spine and makes the hairs on my arm spike up because it's just so traumatic. Mainly because that bullet, it's metal, so it should have been something that Magneto could have stopped, which is another spin I put on it for my own mental sanity, because he can stop metal, but I guess maybe he wasn't paying attention. I don't know. All I know is that it still freaks me out to this day. Bloodsport 1 says that should have been mentioned in the Strange film, Magneto. Okay, fair enough. I don't think we're going to see Mike Fassbender anymore, but I guess someone else will be playing that role. Dark Plato says, this is what happens when Russ isn't on the show with you. Yes, definitely. I do get overheated. Thank you, Tom Jr. Jackson, for telling me to take breaths. Brian McCann says, Xavier killed by Dark Phoenix, cloned Wolverine claws Wanda. And Calvin Tino Calvary Chase says, the Polaris actress Emma Dumont was actually good in the Fox TV series The Gifted, and Polaris is also Magneto's daughter. Gee, Magneto gets around, doesn't he? When did all this stuff that Magneto's been doing? Because I'd like to see the version where Magneto's kind of romancing everybody. Do they show that in the comics? I wonder. So Single Songwriter says, when critics don't like something, that usually means it's good. Yeah, those Rotten Tomato scores do speak volumes, don't they? But it is something to think about. And Brian says, film critics usually hate good fun films. Retro Nerd Girl concurs. Critics hate, I am sold. I'll be watching The Terminal List today. Retro Nerd Girl, you will love it. It is so good. Chris Pratt is fantastic in this. There's one scene where it's not really a spoiler, but he kind of has to interrogate somebody, or he's going to ask somebody questions. And I had made a joke. I did a watch party with Lorraine. We're doing a watch party at the Terminal List. And she said, and I had said, he's going to interrogate her. And I said, the last thing you want to do is to be interrogated by an operator. And he really is, like, the level of concentration on Chris Pratt's face as he is talking to this person. It's absolutely spectacular. I have to, congratulate Chris Pratt for an incredible performance. You won't be disappointed. So Darth Plato says Disney Star Wars is stuck in kids division. Yeah, maybe they are. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why we're not getting the content and the romance that we got in almost every other iteration of Star Wars. There's always been a romance going on, and suddenly no one's hooking up. There are no hookups. Come on, people. Everything and anything can happen in the galaxy, but in Star Wars, there was always some sort of romantic tale, whether it's regular situation, unusual situation. People always fell in love in Star Wars. So I don't think that this should ever change for a moment. Mikey Lito says it's hard to know on what basis critics analyze content. Yeah, it is interesting to know. I can't figure it out. As long as they don't rename it Woke X, we're safe. Touche, single songwriter, touche. Darth Plato says critics don't like anything unless it's something nihilistic, pro-communist, anti-gun, etc. Yeah, it's a shame. It's really a shame. Bloodsport 1 says that mutants sound like a bunch of frat boys who jokes 24 hours a day, fart jokes being silly. I can imagine how they handle Wolverine, Storm, and Colossus. Oh, you mean the way they handled Thor when he became a frat boy all of a sudden? Letting yourself go is one thing, but becoming a frat boy is a completely, become kind of a laddish behavior. It's very different than, being depressed and, staying at home, that type of depression. I think that the way they made him was not quite the depression part. He let himself go because he just wanted to party and enjoy himself. He didn't care, but he wasn't what I would call necessarily full-on depression. He kind of seemed like it was a bit laddish. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I interpreted it. Darth Plato says Xavier is the Kenny of the comic movies. Now, Bloodsport 1 mentions even the second Hulk film had a steamy romance scene in it. And, I'm not against nudity. As you are well aware, I am not against nudity whatsoever. I love nudity, right? And I don't care, if for adult nudity we're talking about here, consenting adults over 18 all the way. I love that. Male, female, does not matter. But I think that we need to see some mature situations here of these people, or else they're going to become somewhat unrelatable and, something we don't want to see. For example, even Tony Stark, as he kept repressing his feelings for Pepper Potts, we knew that they were together. We knew he loved her. Now, it was his choice to behave the way he did for a good portion of the time. And then let's say he came around to wanting to be with her eventually and realized, this was the decisions he made in his life. I'm not criticizing his personal decisions, but even he had romance. But my favorite romantic character is Spider-Man, because he's always thinking about trying to hook up. And it's just a reality of being a person and wanting to find love. So that's why I have a little special place in my heart for Spider-Man, who's always looking for romance. This kid wanted to give her a charm on the top of the Eiffel Tower, a pendant. How romantic is that, guys? Okay. Okay. Darth Plato says he didn't like the plot twist for Terminal List. I liked the series, but it was who was responsible was not something I wanted to see, but that's okay. Also, I thought Norton was second Hulk movie. I'm not sure. And they're talking about Ed Norton. You guys are talking about Ed Norton as Hulk. So we also have today the Memes of Destruction. Hello, the Memes of Destruction. He says, hey guys, what's going on? What's going on? I got 1,000 subscribers. The Memes of Destruction. Isn't it fantastic? So that's what's going on. And of course, all you guys in the chat as we're talking all the Parley and the fandom. All right. Nathan Trujillo is talking about something that's really interesting. Has to do with She-Hulk. This is going to be the series we all have to watch. I personally would have liked to have seen a She-Hulk where she was like the Hulk in the 1970s, 80s version where he's wandering from place to place and he has to like grab clothes off of people's clothing line. I don't even think people dry clothes on clotheslines anymore. But, you know, like in the 70s, it was like a huge thing. Like the whole laundry would be out on this clothesline and you have to put like $5 on the clothing line and grab somebody's jeans and T-shirts. And they have this sad man music. Let her be a fugitive where she's running from place to place. This chick who's playing the role certainly knows how to play anything because she played Orphan Black. She can play anything. So she could certainly play the fugitive, She-Hulk, but kind of like this where she's in this position as an attorney. I don't know whether it's the best fit. It could work, but I'm skeptical. What do you guys think? Juan Rodriguez is here. Hello, Juan Rodriguez. He says, hi. First time seeing you live on your channel. Great job. Well, thank you so much, Juan Rodriguez. It's wonderful to have you here. I hope you're having a great Sunday, and thank you for the compliments, and I so appreciate it. And Tom Jr. Jackson says, check out and subscribe to Bloodsport 1's YouTube channel. Absolutely, Bloodsport 1. Check out his YouTube channel, guys. And for once again, you guys, the creators out there, before we sign off, we're at 1 hour and 31 minutes. If you have your links and stuff coming out, please let us know so we can post them here in the chat so everyone can know what's going on in your creative process, because we want to see that. This is what it's about, supporting other creators. We certainly do want to do that. Mike Alito says, I look forward to all MCU content, but I'm not breathless about it. Okay. The Memes of Destruction says the internet can affect people a lot, especially if one experiences trauma. Absolutely. Absolutely. And yes, absolutely. A single songwriter says the Watchmen had some hot nude scenes, but that was before the movement. Yes. I love the Watchmen. I love the Watchmen movie. I think that was one of those, books, floppies that really push the limits in it. And I absolutely love things like that. So the Watchmen will always have a little special place in my heart as well. Right next to Spider-Man. So there is that. Let's see what else. Oh, and Memes does say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. I'm so grateful, and I so appreciate it from all of you out there. Brian says, let's get you to 40, and I'm sure you mean 4,000 watch hours now. Guys, I need 4,000 watch hours, which means every subscriber just has to watch maybe 1 or 2 hours of my content to get me there. So please do, if you haven't already liked and subscribed to the channel, please do watch some of my content. I've got some fantastic playlists on my channel, as well as reviews of some of my collection. And I have even more content that I haven't even shown you guys that I have recorded that is going to be coming out. So please do. Thank you, Mikey Lito. Folks, to help with watch hours, watch an entire video. If you can't, just put it on the background, let it run to the end. Well, thank you, Mikey Lito. Go ahead and run my playlists and you'll see everything that's going on. I so appreciate the support, guys. You are so kind. I do need to get to that amount. Yes, please. And talking about She-Hulk, Darth Leto says, I dig She-Hulk in the comics, not sure on a series. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Maybe she won't necessarily work in a series, at least, especially in the context that they're giving us, as a working professional. Okay? She's a working professional who's going to become the Hulk. Like, the Hulk feels like it's the opposite of being a working professional. So, I'm not quite sure how they're going to spin that. Is the Hulk a working professional as well as the woman who plays the Hulk, the She-Hulk? Can you do that? It's a question. How are they going to make that work? And Brian McCann points out it is the 77 to 83 Hulk series. I can't remember whether it was Bruce Banner or whatever banner it was. Such a great series. I really loved it. And yes, Darth Plato, this is a good point. When you say player, I hope you mean that she had many lovers, that she was enjoying herself. That's how I see She-Hulk. Maybe the night version of She-Hulk is the woman who is a player and has so many romances and lovers, and then during the day she's a respectable lawyer. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Was she a lawyer in the comics? Maybe one of you guys know. Juan Rodriguez says, how much do you like anime? I love anime. My favorite so far is Full Metal Alchemist. Well, my favorite is absolutely The Arcane. And recently I watched I think it's from the 1980s, The Bastard anime. And yes, I admit it's a guilty pleasure, 100% guilty pleasure, but I still love it. So, 100 straight up adult content, not to be watched with your children on that. But I have also enjoyed a lot of other series. And the very first anime I ever watched was Galaxy 999, which is essentially this. It's like 114 episodes. And it's about this kid, Tetsuro, who goes on this train that travels the galaxy. And I thought that'd be a comfortable ride. You just take this train, you're going from location to location all throughout the galaxy. And yeah, so I kind of liked that show. But yes, I love anime. I have been watching anime and enjoying it. There's so much good anime out there, especially on Netflix, guys. So do please check it out. Memes of Destruction says, She-Hulk has my interest. Looks a bit edgy and following the influence of enough canon to respect the character. Okay, yeah. Gosh, I hope they do it right. So Cavantino Cavalryman Che, he grabs my attention as he says, speaking of nudity, yes, we will never get to see traditional wedding on Betazoid in Star Trek. Well, they did show it in one of the films, but they didn't show us the nudity. Now, wouldn't that have been ballsy, guys, if we had seen the nudity, seen the entire cast of Star Trek nude? What a ballsy move that would have been. Oh my gosh, yeah. So, Mikey Lito says, I was thinking last night, did Lwaxana Troy ever get with a Ferengi? That would be perfect. Well, she did massage his lobes, and I can tell you this much. Exo 6 is creating a Ferengi 1/6 scale figure, and it's the best looking figure of a Ferengi I've ever seen. So maybe she did. I certainly could see Quark being interested in Lwaxana Troy. I can't see why not. Okay. Oh boy, is it obvious? But what are we breathless about is Positive Fandom getting to 1,000 subs. Thank you so much, Tom Jr. Jackson, my collaborator, friend and moderator of the channel, who's always been there from day one. Thank you so much. I am so happy to hear that. Thank you for the support. Also, there is a lot of chatter, and I guess this might be the last topic today, about Picard Season 3. And there has been a lot of chatter about it. We have to wait till next year. But from what I understand, let's say if it, as it currently stands, there's a possibility that it may be one of the best seasons yet. So let's keep our fingers crossed. God, please let it be one of the best seasons yet for Picard, please. And we're all praying that it will deliver, guys. Now, let's see. From what Memes of Destruction has said, in the comics, he says, I believe she was an attorney. Okay, well, it's hard to keep a law practice, be She-Hulk, and go from lover to lover every night. I'm just saying. Now, OG Fan says, I just started the Stranger Things playlist in another tab, and I'll let it run, ads and all. Thank you so much, OG Fan, when Star Wars versus Star Wars. I so appreciate the support. It means a lot to me and makes a big difference for the channel. You guys are the best, and I wouldn't be here without all of you. So thank you so much. And we have heard from Darth Plato, She-Hulk and Daredevil are lawyers. Okay. Tom Jr. Jackson says they called him David Banner because Bruce sounded funny, flimsy, I guess, with the word to use. Right, David Banner. I couldn't remember. I remember there was like some kind of switch about it. And that's okay. It's not always going to be the same name. They like to change those things around. Now, Darth Plato says nudity is fine, but not in an exhibitionist way. I think, seeing, people at, I think seeing people in, intimate moments is great. And it's the reality of being human. And I guess for aliens too, but as a human, part of this group, I want to see more of it. And I think a lot of people want to see more of that too. Michaelito says he wants a 1-to-1 scale figure of Leo Grande. I do too, Michaelito. Certainly something that I will have as a topic going forward. Single Songwriter says, I wonder if she will be read with her lovers. I have no idea. It's certainly something to think about. I am excited if there are any love scenes for She-Hulk. I certainly do want to see this. I guess she kind of grows when she becomes the Hulk, but I don't think she necessarily needs to get super tall or taller than the guy she's with. Just maybe more, have a greater ability and greater strength. But it's okay. I'll take what I can get, what they do. Tom Jr. Jackson says there's 7 months we have to wait for Star Trek Picard season 3. That's just around the corner, Tom. It's coming up soon. And the last thing that I wanted to say has to do with the trailer or teaser trailer they released for the new series that's coming out. And I think you guys all know what I'm referring to. It has to do with the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power trailer that came out. It was not quite what I hoped it would be, but I sure hope you guys saw the trailer and have ideas about it. Single Songwriter says, Red She-Hulk, yes. I wouldn't mind that. And also, Michaelito says, speaking of which, 2 characters on the Orville are in a relationship, and the man is always getting severely hurt whenever they have sex. Well, when you say hurt, you mean physically hurt or emotionally hurt? I haven't been watching the Orville, so I'm just curious. But yeah, there are some people who do engage in sexual activity and enjoy getting physically hurt during the experience as part of it. So I'm certainly not going to say it's anything that doesn't happen necessarily. Okay, so it is physical damage. Yeah, I would like that. Darth Plato, Single Songwriter says to Darth Plato, I would like to see She-Hulk all red and toss her lover onto the bed. That's what we want to see. We want to see real life adult situations and have a little fun with that. I think it would be interesting. Who can forget Rebecca Romaine Stamos when she would turn into the blue form, and she was nude. I thought it was wonderful. So I think seeing something like that would be amazing. Mikey Lito says physically damaged, broken body parts. Well, it's a high price. It's a high price to play for pleasure. I don't know why I'm laughing at this, but I don't know whether I feel sorry for him. I don't know what to say. He's enjoying himself, right? If he's going back for more, then it must be something he's consented to. I hope that it's not because it's done intentionally to hurt the person. Bloodsport 1 says, have you seen The Lost City? I have not. You're talking about the thing with Sandra Bullock, right? I believe that's what you're talking about. I'm going to watch it. And Single Songwriter says, it would be done with taste, of course. Of course. Always done with taste, guys. That's what we're asking for. We want an impressive love scene. Perhaps not the love scene we got in the Eternals where they were making love on the rocks. Boy, being on the rocks means a bad thing, but they were nude on the rocks. Maybe it was a foreshadowing of what that relationship was going to turn into. But Mikey Lito says she isn't. Got it, Mikey Lito. Well, I've got to say, that's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know whether I could take that. But this man must be a pretty incredible man to have a relationship like that. Well, guys, I'm about to end my broadcast for Sunday brunch. I don't want to end it, but I have to because we're nearing 2 hours. I can't believe it's been 2 hours or almost 2 hours here for my celebratory 1,000 subscribers, my first live stream. Now, after having 1,000 subscribers, I couldn't have done any of this stuff without any of you guys. I'm so grateful. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the support. Please do watch some of the videos so I can get up to 4,000 watch hours, guys. Please just go ahead and play, one of the playlists. Just play it in the background. I appreciate it. And watch it if you want to as well. Every little bit helps. Do what you can. Thank you for the kind wishes, everybody. Bloodsport 1, thank you. 1,000 subs. Yes. Nathan Trujillo says this was fun. Mikey Lito says ciao for now, everyone. Congratulations. And we'll work on the watch hours. Now, have a great week. Remember, watch content and form an opinion. Absolutely, guys. And share your opinion. Thank you for sharing everything you shared today. Single Songwriter says thank you at RM and at Positive Fandom and everyone here. Always great fun times. Yes, guys. Thank you. Calvintino Calvary Chase says on to 2,000 subscribers. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Calvintino Calvary Chase. Darth Plato says be kind and fierce. Absolutely, guys. Thank you for the congratulations. Retro Nerd Girl says, congratulations. Have a wonderful week. Same to you. London Tess says, totally deserved. You're a beautiful heart and mind. All the best. Thank you, London Tess. Same to you. Thank you. I appreciate it. OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars says, congratulations again. Thanks for all you do for the community and take care. Well, thank you. Brian McCann also says, be good or good at it. Absolutely. Thalia Mayer. Thalia, hi. Says, great show again and congratulations on 1,000. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And guys, thank you all for bringing us to 1,000 subs on behalf of Positive Fandom and myself and Tom Jr. Jackson. And please come back every Sunday for a new episode. And as always, everybody, wherever you are out there in the galaxy, always remember to please be kind. Take care, everybody.